Brandon, thank you very much. And one of the main focal points for Democrats in 2020 has been how to capture and retain minority voters across the country. The top two Democrats left in the fight, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, are the two with the most minority support, specifically Black and Latino support. Talking Points analyst Manny Martinez is with us to take a deep dive into how each candidate stacks up against the others with minority voters.
Well, Sabrina, let's put some context into the 2020 race for the Democratic nomination and, by extension, the race for the White House. According to the Pew Research Center, this year marks the first time that Hispanics and Latinos now comprise the largest minority group of eligible voters in America at 13.3%. That translates to about 32 million raw votes. Blacks now become the second biggest minority group with about 30 million eligible voters nationwide. So how does each Democratic candidate fare against the other? Well, Super Tuesday last week gave us a pretty good look. Joe Biden did really well in getting support from black voters in South Carolina days before Super Tuesday, and he carried that momentum into other states as well. Biden got no fewer than 58% of the black vote in states like Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, and Alabama, where he got 72% of the black vote. And while black voters in those states flocked to Joe Biden, Hispanics and Latinos, for the most part, stood behind Bernie Sanders. According to exit polls in the state, Senator Sanders got half the votes from Latinos in California and beat Biden by 13 points in Texas with Latinos.
All right, Manny, so obviously this is a crucial base of support for the Democratic Party. When you're looking at the demographics of supporters, though, you noticed a consistent trend. Can you tell me about it?
Absolutely. Age has been one thing that throughout this entire campaign has been quite the deciding factor in terms of what age group is going to vote for who. Sanders has gotten steady support from younger voters, especially amongst Latinos, because the median age of the average Hispanic in this country is 29. And Joe Biden has been consistent in getting older minorities to vote for him, and he's done really well in cleaning up with the older generations.
Now, when it comes to minority voters, who do you think has the advantage here?
Say Joe Biden has the advantage, especially in a couple of the states coming up. Tomorrow, Michigan votes, and there's a big emphasis on the black vote in Michigan, and he actually leads Bernie Sanders in a state that Sanders won against Hillary Clinton back in 2016. Oscar told us that. And the support that Biden is getting from black voters is stronger than the support that Sanders is getting from Latino voters, especially in a state like Florida, and that's in a week.
And when you look at the general election coming up in November, what does what you're seeing now with minorities supporting both of the candidates tell us about what that race could look like?
Well, it tells me that there's strong support within the minority voters, both black and Latino specifically, behind a Democratic candidate. But it's about which one of these two candidates, and it's looking more and more every day like it's going to be Joe Biden, can he unite basically all the minority vote and consolidate it so it becomes one big voting bloc.
All right, well, obviously